So recently I saw a video from one of my favorite Overwatch YouTubers, Samita, and he was talking about how 5v5 kinda ruined Overwatch 2, which, I'm gonna be honest, he's right. In my opinion, I'm part of the group of people that always loved 6v6. 6v6 was really good. There was nothing wrong with 6v6. The only thing that we could even claim was quote-unquote wrong with 6v6 was double shield. And also the heroes that had those shields, seeing that most of them were pretty good whenever you got past their shield. Like, let's think about the basic shield hero in Overwatch. Reinhardt. You get past his shield, all he can do is just swing at that point. Maybe a fire strike or two, but we wouldn't say Reinhardt is overpowered whenever you get past his shield. Then we look at Orisa. Somehow, even whenever they take away her shield, she becomes even more powerful and unstoppable. So it's almost like in Overwatch 1, she really didn't need a shield, and they could have probably made the hero without one. And she could have just been a quote-unquote off tank, even though in Overwatch 2, she's 100% a main tank. And then that brings out Sigma. Why does Sigma have a shield if he essentially has the equivalent of a defense matrix? What is the point of that? I mean, like, the whole point of the shield is so if they get past it, he's at a disadvantage. For some reason, Overwatch keeps making these actually pretty decently well-rounded heroes that have no flaws, essentially, and that can get away from almost anything if you press the right combination of buttons. And then on top of that, the support heroes, as Samito says, basically are ruining Overwatch 2. Even me, I'm not no high-level player, alright? But even in my games in like gold and platinum and even silver sometimes whenever I am getting really stomped out one day, the support role is always like a 5-10 minute queue for no reason. Like, why are so many people trying to play support nowadays? And of course, as soon as the damage support hybrid Alari came out, that's whenever the queue time started rising. People were like, hey man, I can heal and DPS? While watching Samito's video, I agreed with like most of his points because, I'm gonna be honest, the whole 2 shield thing could have easily been solved by making a whole new role called shield tank. Oh my god, you mean only shield tanks would be in the shield tank category, and then they could have made another role called off tank. It's almost like we all understand what a shield and off tank is. And I know some people would be like, but who would play the shield tank? Anyone that wants to play tank and want to have a faster queue? I mean, like, we say who would want to play the shield tank, but people already do play the shield tank whenever we're in game. Even if they don't want to, if they know, hey, the shield is exactly what we need, they would play it. And it would be better off if someone was willing to play the shield tank and knew their whole job was to put up a shield for the team's defense. And to be honest, I'd rather play with someone who chose shield tank than someone who's just like, yeah, I chose the general category of tank. That didn't mean I wanted to play the shield tank. Because out of all the roles in Overwatch 2, I would say tank is the hardest one to play because you're the person that has to protect everyone. And if we had the second tank back, even if it is just, you know, 1 shield, 1 off tank, that's more than fine. That's exactly what we needed. We just needed to separate out the tanks, all right? Because there are 2 different styles of tank play. I think it's idiotic that they didn't even try to do that in Overwatch 2 instead of them just removing a whole tank altogether. Like, they went the whole nuclear route. I mean, like, how hard is it to get someone to make a little icon that says shield tank and it just take the shield tanks and put them into that category? I mean, like, boys, this can't be that hard. I'm not a programmer, all right? I'm not a game designer, but I'm like, having someone design an extra UI card should it be that hard? Should it? I mean, like, hey, who knows? Maybe it's impossible. And the only possible way to fix double shield in Overwatch was to remove a whole tank slot. You know, remove literally part of the fun of playing tank and having an off tank help peel for you. In my opinion, I really want 6v6 to come back, but I don't think any of the maps or even the heroes are even balanced for 6v6 anymore. And we're just stuck with this. This is what we're stuck with now. 5v5 where your tank is gonna either struggle or they're gonna be stomping the other team. There is no in between of just, hey man, this is a nice little tank matchup. It's either, why are we not pushing, or why is our tank so far ahead of us? Having a solo good tank is like trying to have a solo good healer. Like, we've all played games where one of the healers has left. And guess what? Those games are basically about damn near impossible unless they are playing out of their mind like an Anno or Life Weaver at this point. Or the lucky for everyone that Ilaria came out and she can now solo heal everything, because without her or Anna, you're basically fucked if your other healer is just like, yeah, I want to play Lucio. My God, you have to heal up the whole team now. Lucio isn't gonna cut it. Like, we need more than just Lucio heals. And that one decision to stick on to Lucio and continue playing Lucio literally can cost the whole game unless Lucio is a god player. And even then, it's not even 100% guaranteed even if he is a god player on Lucio. That doesn't mean he's better than the counter picks that are probably gonna go like Sombra or Pharah or something to take him out. I just gotta know, what made them think 5v5 was better than 6v6? Like, did they actually think like, oh, you know, we're reduced one tank, so, you know, double shield is gone. And it's like, there was another option we didn't explore at all to save 6v6. They just altogether scrapped 6v6 because they're like, either we could reasonably balance the game how it's been balanced for the past 6 or so years, or we can take away one whole role slot, make it lopsided to where whoever has the better tank instantly wins, and we can pat ourselves on the back knowing that we basically destroyed the fundamentals of this game for the past 7 years. And I know that there's no real chance in hell that we're gonna get 6v6 back, but I mean, like, it's a pipe dream, isn't it? We had such a good game before, even whenever they abandoned it, because again, the reason why double shields and ghosts was a problem was because they abandoned the game. They didn't really update it, because for like 2 or 3 years they said we're working on one of the best games that they were gonna come out with, Overwatch 2, and now we're playing it, Overwatch quote-unquote 2, which is just Overwatch 1. They essentially wasted 3 years doing nothing. Alright, let's all be honest here. Is Overwatch 2 a bad game? Of course not. I would say yes, there are some upgrades from Overwatch 1, but I mean, like, the upgrades from Overwatch 1 are literally just updates. If Overwatch 1 got these same updates, this game would actually probably be in a better place, and people will probably have a better sentiment, because people would just be like, oh, well, they just continue updating Overwatch. I'm like, it's not a bad game. It's a pretty decent game altogether. But hindsight is 2020, and now we know, like, hey, just because Blizzard's working on the game doesn't mean that it's actually gonna come out, or it's gonna come out as good as they claim it is gonna be, because we were supposed to get a Battlefield inspired StarCraft game that was scrapped. Because wanna know why? Because they were working on Overwatch 2. We could have had a Battlefield inspired StarCraft game. I'm still like, why are you not like bringing that back? We want that. Please bring it back. I'm really hoping Activision Blizzard under Microsoft's control will actually bring back some of these games that are lost to time that could have been great. Because guess what? Bobby Kotick was focused on making nothing but these big franchise hits that flop after a few years, because guess what? They come out great and then the updates just stop, or the updates are just garbage other than skins. But boys, what do you guys think about 5v5? Do you guys think they should actually bring back 6v6 instead and try to rebalance the whole game again around 6v6? Or do you guys think we're already at 5v5, we might as well work with what we got? The game is in a spot. Is it a good one? We wouldn't say that, but it's in a spot. How do you guys feel about this? And also, did you guys see that someone got caught stealing almost 67 copies worth of Starfield? Click this video right here and find out how they got caught.